Hello, Wolverines. Welcome to your first episode of fall semester of wellness for Wolverines. I am your host, Sharon or Sean, whichever one comes first to your mouth. And I just want to tell you that today I have one of the most awesome guests, Arthur. Arthur is a black belt. He is also a black belt instructor. He could teach you how to kick someone's butt, but also, more importantly, how to defend yourself when you're in danger. He is an advocate for people learning how to make sure that they are okay, especially women, that they are not attacked. He has learned many things, and more importantly, he is an alumni of UVU. So in this episode, we're going to be asking him the importance of self-defense. We're going to ask him his background and why he got into the field that he did and all that good jazz just for you guys. So stay tuned, grab your best a drink that you would like to choose today, and enjoy the conversation with Arthur.
So obviously your path to what eventually became your career or your college degree, which was under behavioral science, started very young, simply because your dad didn't want to teach you how to kill.
Kinda, yeah.
Did he ever tell you what made the grass grow greener? No. Blood. That's the most Marine thing ever.
I hadn't heard that one. He actually never really talked about the military much. And I learned that over time, anyone in the military, they don't really talk about it much.
Yeah.
Unless they're that guy, you know? And everyone knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When they're just like the war hero that gets some and I'm going to go, that guy will talk. Because he needs to be seen as that. Yeah. But everyone else, they don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't even tell you what rank they are. They don't, because they don't care.
Yeah. They did it.
I did my surface. I did my thing. I learned a lot, or I got a lot of problems from it, because the PTSD is a thing. So he didn't talk about it. I think his job was looking for landmines.
Okay.
But it was different back then compared to the IED, to like all the big ones now.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Like, you wouldn't live long if you were looking for those the way he was. So, and I think he was in Cuba or something. I don't know. But he didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
He would always talk about, like, if you watch like Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
And how you have blanket parties and how the drill sergeant is young. And he always talked about how he grew up fighting.
Yeah.
Like all the time. He's like, at the bar we went to, if there was 3 fights that night, it was a slow night. And I'm like, why won't you teach me something then? Like, you know how to do this. Yeah. So it wasn't until I took a boxing class. It was like at a YMCA or something. And I was like on the boxing team. And I'm like, cool, have the sweatshirt. And it had like the cool symbol, and I thought like I was a part of something. And I got good enough. They wanted me to start ring fighting, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Because I knew my senior year I was going to be 18 most of the year.
Yeah.
And I also know, that heard, we had a small town, and people were like, oh, I'm going to pick a fight with that guy because he's 18. And I didn't want to catch charges or something stupid because if you're a registered fighter, you're an amateur fighter, you're kind of looked at as a weapon, and then you're like, I'm not giving anyone that ammo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn some stuff, and then when it was like done, learning, I switched and I went to Muay Thai, and Muay Thai was brutal. Like, when you learn that stuff, like some of the things, like I didn't. Nowadays, when we teach, at our gym or anyone who's wanting to learn, it's a little nerfed up from what I learned. As the old school guy from Thailand that I went to the middle school to like, meet up with them, and all these people were showing up, and I'm like, I went to the gym because that's naturally where you would think it would be. I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't see any like pads or bags or anything. I'm like, what's happening? He comes in, he's like, you guys here from what time? I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, it's out here. I'm like, oh, the bags are out there. I go outside, I'm looking around, there's nothing. And I'm like, what are we doing? And he goes, okay, 50 kicks each leg. And I go, on what? And he kicked the monkey bars that were standing there, the metal pole, kicks it with his shin. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that, but you do. And you're doing like the most gentle tap, but that's not what he's like, no, harder. And made you kick. So like everyone's shins were purple or bleeding because of kicking that, but he was conditioning the bone, right? Like every real Muay Thai fighter is going to say, if you don't condition. So we'll back to the Van Damme kicking banana trees.
Yeah.
That's exactly that. Like that's the old school way, was get your shins ready to crack someone else's shin or their head.
Yeah.
So I got good enough there. They wanted me to ring fight. I said, nope, I'm out. Stopped all of it. I never had to fight. And that was kind of the beauty of it, right? Like I even teach people, even little kids, like I teach them like, learn to fight so you don't have to. Because most of the time you can talk your way out of it. Or you're so confident in getting into a fight that someone doesn't want to fight you. Because they're like, you know something. And you're like, damn right. And I can't wait to show you. But they don't want to do it then. So it ends up being like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna do my thing then. You know. So in some ways my big mouth was still there.
Right.
But I toned it down because I knew like I'm gonna piss people off. But then I thought I don't want to necessarily get in a fight. I only got in one actual street fight and I beat bad. Like he had to go to the hospital. I broke his face. His nose and his face this semester.
I mean, after you told me that you've kicked freaking monkey bars to condition your shits, I don't think I want to get in a fight with you. Like, I'm okay. But you went from New Mexico, you came here at some point. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You came to this university, you came to UVU. And you got a degree in behavioral science.
Yep.
How did you even, why? Like, why behavioral science? Why was that special for you? I know for me personally, I think mental health is so important, especially for us men, because we don't talk about it, because we are trained or conditioned to just keep that inside, you know, like you need to be tough. Don't cry about it. Push through, right? So it's behavioral science tends to be oversaturated with women at times.
Can be.
What made you choose that career path?
So here's some statistics. The average college student will change their major 3 times. And I actually did change it 3 times. This is right out of high school. My first major was a music major. Till I started learning what kind of stuff they did. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that. So I dropped out of school altogether. And I didn't go back for another 10 years. And that was when I started coming here. I went back, and originally I came back to just play hockey because they just started a hockey team. And this is right as UVU became a university before it was the trade school at UBSC.
Yeah.
I tried out for the team. I was way out of shape. So I'm like dealing with these kids that just played like months earlier, and I hadn't played for 5 years. But the knowledge was there. I had the skill. I was like, just let me get in shape. You know, I was heavier, so all my stuff didn't fit right. But I was like, but now I can hit people. It used to just be fast. Dude, I saw this kid that was the fast guy, and I hit him, and I was like, dude, that's way more fun. So I'm like, let's do that. So yeah, I tried out, and then I got into UVU. That didn't make the team though. So I was like, dang it, you know. So actually, when I first moved to Utah, this is even before the university, I actually used to be a massage there. I did that for 14 years. And those of you wanting to know, don't do it.
Why not? Tell me why not real quick.
I mean, this is probably like another deep dive into other layers of stuff. I stayed in it too long. It was not like a bad skill to learn. Like if you want to look at the stats there, the average massage therapist does it for 3 to 5 years. Now, if I knew that before I signed up, I wouldn't have done it. I'm like, that's horrible, you know, but once I got past that, it's because your body starts not wanting to do it. So I really focused from the beginning, like, take care of my body, because you kind of like go, well, I'll just do this technique. It'll help this person, but it's only that person that hour, you know. It's like, that's hurting you over time though. You know, imagine, you know, like it's the Chinese waterboarding where they drip
right.
Over time, that feels like a punch to the head. And it's kind of the same thing that you're doing. Like if you don't use your body properly, it just grinds you down. And, you know, over the years, that was a good side job to have while I went to school. So then I started school and I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. So, and I'm like, head first into school. Let's do it. All the stuff. I had some classes from when I went years ago that kind of transferred over, which was great. I didn't have to do math because I had a high level of math back then. And I'm like, yeah. So all the sciences hit you. And as you get going up in the sciences, you start to see the same people. And I started to see that all the people I'm going to school with are either pre-dental or pre-med. And I didn't like who I was in school with. I was like, I kind of don't want to be colleagues with you. And then I said, okay, let's go talk to med schools out there. And I asked admissions reps and I was like, what do you look for? Like, really be honest with me. Don't give me your regular answer, because everyone wants to know what to do to look like I'm going to pick you. I had one that was brutally honest. It was great. He says, just be different, because everyone is a biology major or they volunteered at the ER. It's like it's like the only thing that changes was their name and what school they came from. He's like, and those are just, and I could imagine it's probably boring. You probably see hundreds of applications that look the same.
That's a nice little gold nugget there for everyone who wants to be pre-med, right? Like, be different.
So how did I be different? My volunteer hours was I volunteered doing massages for different programs. Like the Susan G. Komen was one of them. The Arthritis Healing Hands was another one. So that was real different. And I had, more than enough hours that I donated to those causes that made me look cool. It made me look different, I should say. Yeah, cool. Then he said, the major thing. And I said, okay, what if I double majored? So I was just being like extra. So I doubled. I originally had biotechnology, which is kind of like a biology. And then threw psychology in there because I took a psych class. And it was my first teacher in that was Jason King. Shout out to him. Phenomenally smart, like just a sharp guy, very good at teaching, made me intrigued, wanted to take more classes from him. And generally people do that. You have a favorite instructor, you keep trying to find, what else do you teach? People do that to me too when I talk to people. What else do you teach? I'm like, I don't know, whatever they give me, like I wish I could pick. But then I had the double major thing going, and then, I started to look, because on UVU's thing, and all of you that are at UVU, you know what I'm talking about. You go and look at your GPA. Well, they break your majors up into two different things. They have the overall cumulative, right? And I think I had a 3.2 in the science stuff, which is not bad, but it's not competitive either. So I was like, dang it. But in psychology, I was a 4.0. So I was like, I think I know where I need to be. And I wasn't feeling the doctor thing anymore. Because I also had, two kids that were at ages where I would have been missing stuff. So I was just like, I don't know that I want to do that. So I dropped biotech, stuck with psychology, finished out. And in behavioral science, they have the different sections you could be in, and psychology sounded really cool because I'm like, to learn how someone thinks and behaves is like, I feel like you have a superpower.